Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Between the Lines. I'm Harrison Malone, sitting next to Stephen Kipp. Didn't have a whole lot last week, but start off with wrestling. What do you got?
Wrestling had a tournament in Arkansas, the Hatcher Dual Meet, and they finished second. They lost in the championship round to William Baptist. Trent Hollett led the team. He's a senior this year. He won all 4 of his matches by pinfall that day. Looking for the wrestling team to continue their upward trajectory like they have every year. They've been very good.
And then for cross country, Caitlin Arnold finished 6th in her race and qualified for the national race.
Yeah, the national championship race, D3. Football played their last game of the season against Adrian College and ended up winning 31-27 was the final.
Yep. They started off early, down 20-3 before half. I think what started the momentum back was a Jacob Chittenden pick 6. Momentum started to swing back their way, and then they just finished it out nicely.
We had 8 players actually voted to the MIAA squad.
First team goes as follows. Daniel Hugan, his 1,123 yards and 8 touchdowns made him a no-brainer. Ian Hickerson, the Scots running game put up as many yards as they had since 1968. And so that's also why we see tight end Nick Cozart up there as well. Troy Game, no question here, 18.5 tackles for loss, 11.5 sacks. And then Zach Peterson, second year in a row with over 100 tackles at 102. And then for the second team, Dylan Zabrowski, Nick Sullivan, Justin Thalen as well for the defense on the second team.
It's a really good statement year for the football team, finishing up the year 7-3. They are the 14th team in Alma's history to have 7 wins in a season. And, hopefully they can just build off of it and get some new recruits in and keep going. All right, so looking ahead, we have men's and women's basketball are starting their seasons Tuesday this week, and then they also play Friday, Saturday. Men's are at home and women's are on the road.
Doug Bradfield's out for the season already, torn ACL, torn meniscus. So after already losing Scott Nikodemski and DJ Beckman, the team's not going to be what it was last year. That's not to say they're not as competitive, but losing a 3-point shooting center really does mean a lot to the team.
That's for sure. And so let's hear from Coach Hargrave.
It's a hard act to follow from last year, but we like our team. We have an unselfish group again, and so far I love how they're playing together and competing.
Expectations are pretty high, but we are kind of taking it day by day. Obviously, our end goal is to, have a conference championship, and, ultimately it would be awesome to get another NCAA tournament berth.
Especially with losing big parts, Scott Nikodemski, DJ, other seniors. I see a lot of improvement, a lot of guys that were on our JV team last year and they came back this year ready to play, ready to step up.
We've got to kind of see what the long-term diagnosis is going to be for those guys, Doug Bradfield and Kevin Gamble. So we've got to figure out maybe a little bit differently what our strengths become and what our weaknesses are, and then we try to shape our system around those things.
Well, mentioned it already, Doug Bradfield being out. Kevin Gamble as well has been kind of questionable here and there. The size inside is going to be a big issue for them. But because of how often they shoot from the outside, long rebounds tend to be something that they excel at. To be missing those guys is very important, but their style of play kind of alleviates that pressure.
Yeah, I think if you listen to it, there was a common theme there for sure, that they're very optimistic, even though they're not pegged to be as good as they were last year, but they're very optimistic to their young players for the next person to step up, and they're looking for that next person. Hopefully we'll be able to find it. All right, and then we had Coach Johnson on the show last week. She was great. Also, it's kind of the same attitude, very optimistic about the youth around the team, and hopefully they can build around that and just keep getting better every day. That's it's pretty cliche, but that seems like the attitude for both teams this year.
Yeah, absolutely. The women's team, there's a difference between youth and just how young this women's team is. A majority of the team are freshmen, and most of them are pretty talented as well. So that, again, there's a lot to be, optimistic about. I really do like their motto for the year, Rise Up. It's all pretty clever. And it, hopefully the girls buy into that. Because as long as they buy into something together, that's really all that matters.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's hear from Coach Johnson briefly about the season.
I want to continue with just maximizing our abilities and getting better each and every day, week to week, month to month, and year to year.
Team chemistry is going really well. Players are growing individually with their skill level at great rates. Coach Johnson's done a great job bringing in freshmen that are really competing against the veterans. We are super competitive at practice, high energy practices.
We expect those freshman mistakes and learning, growing, and seeing the struggles because it's a long season, but at the same time, they also have a great support system around them that are helping them.
I'm very honored to be one or two senior captains this year. I've had great leaders that since my freshman year, Morgan Henry and Mallory Pruitt, Cass Adams, Ray Zink, they've all been great role models for me.
They're committed not only to being better basketball players, but better teammates. And the whole process so far has been very fun.
And that's the kind of message that you'll hear for teams that have struggled lately, that they've kind of backed away from, talking about the statistics or, how good, seasons have went or how good certain players are. And that's exactly what needs to be done. Everyone needs to come together, set aside whatever little egos they may have because, the football team had to do this a few years ago, starting with, your freshman class and then mine, where, you struggle when you're not together. So, especially in basketball, you have to have 5 players on the floor thinking on the exact same page in order to have success. And as of right now, they're really looking forward to defeating the expectation of finishing, in the bottom of the conference this year.
Yeah, that was a really good point. I definitely think the leadership class for football is the reason why they did so well. Not to bash on prior leaders, but the individualism was really knocked down this year, and it wasn't, it was all for the team, and they wanted to win together, and they didn't care about their individual stats at the end of the day. They just wanted to win. And we're very excited for basketball to kick off. We're going to be at every game, so can't wait, honestly. Next, we're going to have Bianconi from the swimming team on. I hope she has fun. I'm sure it'll be a good time for us at least.
Hi, I'm Brianna Bianconi. I'm a senior on the swim and dive team this year, and this is Hyper Nah. Wow, definitely hype. Swiffers. I use mine all the time. I have the little vacuum one, and I have the little mop one. Works nice in my right whole apartment. Taylor Swift, wow. Nah, for sure. Nothing about it. Not a fan. So it is what it is. I got nothing else. Wheat Thins definitely hype. Love them, especially the roasted tomato ones. Perf. Nah, definitely nah. Cosmo's full of poop. Wow, hype for sure. Those are my absolute favorite. Hype. He's pretty cool. He's pretty tricky. Wow, Taco Bell's definitely hype. I eat it way more than I should. Fun fact, small addiction. Wow. Definitely, I would say hype. He's a little both sides. He's a little in the middle, but definitely more hype than hype. You gotta be, otherwise you won't make it. There's only one option. Hype if you stay above the water. Put it that way. Wow. Hype. 100%. My hero. Love him. I'm Bree Bianconi, and this has been Hyper Nah.
All right, and now it's time for Real Talk with Bree. And so, first to start off, how is the team looking this year?
Team is looking really good. So our numbers are up quite a bit from last year. Our attitude is looking good. We're training well, and we've got a lot of good things going for us this year.
Do you guys have any, Cole's pretty young for the guys team. I don't know how much you know the guys. Do you guys have any young swimmers like Cole that are emerging as leaders or potential leaders on the road?
Yeah. Our freshman class is looking pretty good. We've got some new swimmers that are not freshmen as well, but Cole is definitely coming up and looking really good and training really strong and becoming a leader for sure. Sydney Lewis Ferdinand, one of our freshman girls on our girls side, is looking really well. Also training hard every day, and these guys are keeping up with some of our upperclassmen when we're doing big sets and tough swims, and it's really exciting to see them kind of merging and being leaders in the pool as far as attitude and doing things right as well.
A lot of swimmers have had struggles with Coach Copeland. What is it about him that maybe some people don't agree with?
Bill is older and he's old-fashioned, and just sometimes the way that he communicates and the way that people our age communicate just don't always match up, don't see eye to eye, and so people misinterpret things he says. He misinterprets things that we say sometimes, and for example, when Bill says like, "All right, it's not too bad," like that means probably like, "Wow, that was really good," and just kind of figuring out his demeanor and his different sayings and things like that. And he's certainly come a long way in learning kind of how to work with college kids and work with us, and just understanding him and kind of figuring out better and building a better relationship with him.
Going a little bit away from that, what's your guys' training and practice schedule look like? I wouldn't even know it.
We lift 3 times a week in the morning from 7 to 8, and Tuesday mornings we swim in the mornings, and then Monday through Friday we swim in the afternoon for about 2.5 hours. We swim Saturday mornings as well if we don't have a swim meet. So we are putting in lots of hours, and if we do have a meet day, we're looking at most of your Saturday taken up.
So you're IPHS major, right? Mm-hmm. So what is it specifically that you want to do with that major when you leave Alma?
I am going to PT school after this. So I've got a couple responses so far, waiting on a couple more, but that's definitely where I'll be headed in the next year. So the next 3 years, that's where I'll be actually. And then from there, practicing as physical therapist.
How did you get into swimming, and when did you know that was going to be your thing?
Yeah. I got into swimming a long time ago. I've been swimming for 15 years. I started when I was 7. My second grade teacher passed out flyers one day in class and said, "Does anyone want to swim? Who likes swimming?" And a bunch of people raised their hand, because every second grader loves swimming. And she said, "Okay, well, take this flyer home to your parents." And it was a flyer for the local age group swim team. And so I took it home to my mom, like she said, and I was like, "Oh, Mom, I love swimming. Like, this is so cool. Like, let's try it." And at that point, I wasn't I wasn't doing another sport yet. So my mom was like, "Okay, well, we'll try it for a season, see if you like it, whatever." And so I tried it, and I loved it, and I made a lot of friends. And next season came around, my mom said, "Do you want to do it again?" And I said, "Yeah, of course."
Do you have any other prominent hobbies or things that you do outside of swimming?
Yeah, so I'm involved in a couple other clubs. I'm a member of the Integrative Physiology and Health Science Honorary. We go to the American Conference of Sports Medicine, the Michigan Conference in the spring, and that's always really fun. We also have the IPHS Journal Club that I love going and watching. Various speakers come and present their research. I'm a member of Fellowship of Christian Athletes, which I love, meet on Tuesday nights. Other than that, I really enjoy spending time with my team. I mean, I'll be honest, like eat, sleep, swim, study, like that's my biggest, I don't do a whole lot of other things, but really I just love spending time with my team.
Well, this has been Real Talk with Bianconi. We'd like to thank her. Now it's time for something else with Bianconi, and we're gonna play Spam. So how you start is I need you to roll the dice 5 times.
A 1 and a 2. 8. 6. Oops, does that count?
Sure, 5.
7.
Okay, so out of 3, 8, 6, 5, and 7, which is your favorite number?
7.
Name a girl at Alma.
Sydney Hooker.
What's a potential job in your field?
Physical therapy.
What's your favorite shoe brand?
Nike.
Name a fast car.
Mustang.
Name a guy at Alma.
Eric Ferrara.
What would be the worst job you could be doing after school? What's a job?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. That's good. What's the population of India? Throw out a number.
8.5 million.
What was your first car?
Station wagon.
What's the cutest animal you can think of?
Push baby.
A what?
A bush baby.
What's that?
It's like the thing that's got really big eyes.
Bush, baby?
Bush.
How you spell it?
Like B-U-S-H.
Oh, bush. What's your favorite flavor of pie?
Wow, blueberry for sure.
Name an infamous celebrity.
Taylor Swift.
What's a potential, like, what do you expect to be making your first year after you graduate?
85.
What's your dream job?
Being a physical therapist for sports injury.
What do kids ride to school in?
A school bus? Is that a trick question?
What is the smelliest animal you can think of?
Smelliest?
Yes.
A cow?
What is the population of Antarctica?
3,000.
What's your dream car?
Camaro.
What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal?
Favorite animal.
Seahorse.
Name a famous celebrity.
Ryan Gosling.
Name a scary animal.
A bat.
And then last one, what do your parent or parents do for a living? Like, what job?
My mom's a nurse. Okay.
We played this game as a middle schooler. It wasn't called Spam, though.
I played something similar.
All right, so you chose 7. So basically, you just count off. This means serfdom, poor, average, millionaire. And I just count 7 and mark off. So
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You are not going to marry Taylor Swift. You're not going to have 5 kids. You're not going to have a Mustang. You won't be making no money, so that's good. You will not be in serfdom.
Whew.
1,
Thank
2, 3.
goodness.
You are not marrying Ryan Gosling.
No, start over.
4, you will not be a physical therapist.
This is such a bad game.
7, you will not be making $8.5 million. No seahorse.
You're
1,
getting rid of all the good ones.
7, you will be marrying somebody.
Okay, all right.
You will have a job, so you'll be either making blueberry pie or $3,000.
This is so sad.
No 6 kids, no Camaro, and you'll be a millionaire.
Oh, thank goodness, I'll need that.
Not working at Taco Bell. No bush baby. You'll have 8 or 3 kids, making $3,000,
It's okay, I'll be a millionaire.
maybe a day. You'll have 3 kids.
Good.
Bat or a cow? A school bus for a car.
Nice, nice.
With a bat as a pet.
Oh man,
Maybe a nurse.
this is not too bad. Eric Ferrara, I better go let him know.
All right, so after Spam, predicting our futures here, Bree will be a millionaire, married to Eric Ferrara with 3 kids, working as a nurse, driving a school bus, making $3,000 a year with a pet bat. What's your pet bat's name?
Frodo.
Frodo, that's amazing. Everyone here would like to thank Bree for coming on the show. We wish her well and good luck the rest of the way in swimming.
Thank you.